If this video showed up on your feed right now, there's a reason. Maybe you've been staring at your laptop for the past 40 minutes procrastinating. Maybe your to-do list has become a guilt trap. You're spiraling. Maybe even resting is making you feel guilty. Burnout doesn't always look like you're crying on your desk. Sometimes it looks like doing nothing at all. It looks like rereading one sentence over and over and over again and nothing with that sentence even goes into your mind. If that's you, you're not lazy, you're probably just burnt out. And if you're a high achiever like me, then it's even harder to even admit that you're burnt out. Because from the outside, we want everyone to think of us as the person who can do everything, for looking at us and thinking, wow, they're so great, they can handle everything in life. But that's obviously not healthy, and it's what got us here in the first place. This video is going to go over how I recovered from study burnout without giving up on any of my dreams or goals. Let's talk about it. I used to run on this mindset: push now, rest later. No excuses, no slowing down. If I give my 1000% right now, I can give my 2% later on and reap the rewards. I was practically addicted to feeling productive or being productive. But then the crash came. Even when I wanted to go on and on and on, my body and my mind wouldn't let me. I couldn't focus. I was constantly tired. I was crying out of the blue, like I was constantly spiraling 24/7. And all of that led me to start resenting studying more and more and more, and everything else that I was doing as well. Literally every small thing, every small problem just felt like way too much for me at every single second. And the scariest part, I didn't even feel bad enough to justify stopping. I just felt empty, like I had nothing left in the tank anymore. So if that's where you are right now, don't worry, I've been there. You don't need a breakdown to know that it's time for you to slow down or even stop. You don't need a breakdown to tell you that it is time for you to not stop, but have a complete reset. And that means you just need to listen to the exhaustion before it gets louder. So here's a reminder for you: you don't have to earn your rest. This is something that high achievers have to constantly be reminded of. And it's something that we always struggle with because we treat rest like it's a reward. And you probably hear this a lot from other people, and you probably say it to your friends as well.
Oh, don't work so much. It's time for us to play. Don't work so much. Blah, blah, blah. Why are you working so much?
But in reality, you are doing the exact same thing to yourself. You feel like rest has to be earned, that you can only rest once you've proceeded to do a goal that you wanted to do. But the truth is, you don't have to be falling apart to deserve a break. You don't have to hit a breaking point in order to tell yourself to slow down. So I kind of worked this around with my schedule by scheduling recovery time for myself. And I would do that the same way that I would schedule studying. I literally planned a full week with no intense academic goals, a reset day every Sunday, no guilt allowed, and a mini breaks during study blocks, so like 10 minutes every time I study for an hour, or 10 minutes every time I study for 50 minutes, so using the pomodoro timer basically. And slowly, a little by little, my brain started to trust me again. Because burnout often comes from ignoring yourself for way too long, and your brain and yourself no longer trust yourself. So when I was ready to ease back in, I knew I couldn't just go straight and jump into studying for 5 hours all over again. I had to ease into it slowly by slowly. I started off by telling myself, okay, I'm just gonna do 1 question or 2 questions or doing 5 minutes, and I would kind of reward myself bit by bit here and there by completing these small tasks. Firstly, this helped me to understand that I don't have to be afraid of studying. After feeling burnt out, I was scared of feeling that way again and going all over the spiral process all over again. So I became really scared of studying. Here's an example of how I kind of did that in my first 3 days. In day 1, I would watch a 15-minute explainer video on a topic that I actually liked. Day 2, I took notes casually and no pressure to make them feel aesthetic or anything, or even look aesthetic. Day 3, did 1 topic question and then literally just that. Like, I literally just eased off on it, let myself feel the feeling of studying again, get used to it, be familiar with it, and that's it. I repeated the process again until I felt fully comfortable in this. The key was that there's no pressure. You're not telling yourself, okay, you gotta be productive today, you gotta be productive tomorrow. That's what brought you here in the first place, and you don't want to repeat that all over again. Just relearning on how to enjoy the process again, even 20 minutes in a day counts for that. When it came to rebuilding my relationship with studying, burnout messes with my brain. Burnout will mess with your brain in ways that you don't even realize. It tells you that studying is equal to stress, or that learning is equivalent to pressure. So to recover, you have to slowly change that association, and here's what helped me with that. Firstly, I lowered my expectations. Really difficult to do if you're a high achiever, but you really just have to push yourself to do this. I stopped trying trying to catch up. I focus on starting from where I was. So basically, I wasn't competing with other people, I was competing with myself. Secondly, guilt-free breaks. I plan chill time and I stuck to it. I don't just plan something and then tell myself, oh, it's fine, I'm feeling fine right now, I'm gonna study instead of doing this. No, I don't do that. Because I already set that plan for myself, I kept to it. I was consistent and I promised myself something, so I will do it, which allowed me to trust myself more. And thirdly, I gave myself joy triggers. So this means I compartmentalize the process of studying. Whenever I want to study, I do something small that would bring me some joy. So that would be listening to a certain study playlist that I've put together that I love, lighting a candle that I like, or moving to a different spot in a cafe that I like, or something like that. Something that I can use to romanticize my studying, basically. Sometimes the trick is to just treat studying like it's a reward itself, and you have a soft restart in that way. You're not going back to the grind mode, more like gently reminding myself that I can do things if I want to. So here's the final reminder for you. If you're burnt out, it doesn't mean you're weak. I know that's really hard to hear and really hard to understand, but it does not mean that you're falling behind, okay? I've been there, I know that feeling. It just means that you've been carrying so much for so long without any rest. Recovery isn't you being lazy. You should never associate laziness and recovery together. They're not even supposed to be in the same sentence, okay? It is maintenance. You hear that siren? That's a warning sign for you as well. You are not supposed to be running like a machine where it has no maintenance at all. It literally just means that you have to take some time for yourself, give your future self the ability to be able to have that slow down pace before you crash onto a wall. So take the break. Slow down intentionally, come back at your own pace, and don't compete with anyone else except for yourself. Because a rested student is obviously going to be a powerful one. So if no one told you this today, then I'm going to tell you. You're allowed to pause. Let that sink in. You are allowed to pause. You're allowed to not be at your best for a while. You are allowed to rebuild. Burnout isn't failure. It is just your body begging for you to listen to it. So listen. Reset, recover, and when you're ready, you're gonna come back even stronger than before. So if you watched this all the way till the end and you got to this point here, I want you to take a rest, take a break, come back to this video and tell me that you feel rested, and that will make me feel so good. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like, share it with your friends who's also burnt out, and yeah, hope to see you in the next one. All the best, bye!